Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Walter, and in this video we're going back to working on this 6.0 LS engine. As you can see, we have that top end to take care of now, so let's get to it. Before we actually start throwing parts on this thing for the top end, I'm gonna go ahead. I noticed that the top of the pistons are they have a little bit of a carbon buildup over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a little, pretty much just knock some of the carbon buildup off, you know, just because, pretty much. So let's go ahead and do that.
Alright guys, so now we had cleaned it up. It was really dirty, but you know, we did a little cleaning just to keep it clean. So before he dropped the lifters in, I'm gonna show you guys what we did. So we cleaned around here where the head gasket goes, pistons, a little cleaned up. We had a bunch of carbon buildup. Since we didn't took it all apart to the pistons, we didn't take it to get a hot tank, you know, make it brand new, so we just cleaned it up a little bit.
Alright guys, so now that we cleaned up the pistons a little bit and the head gasket area, we're gonna go ahead and install the lifters. You can see with the new trays, with the new lifters. So what I'm doing now, I'm just oiling everything up real quick so we can be able to drop them in. Okay. So just lubing up the lifters. They do come pre-lubed, but you know, just in case, I'm just lubing them up so you can slide right in, like so. Nothing fancy. And moving the outside of it. Some say not to soak the lifters, some say to do it, so it's kind of contradictory. So I just decided to kind of oil the outside of it plus the rollers just in case.
So this motor requires 4 trays of lifters, which is this 4, those 4, and there's 2 and 2. In total 4 trays.
Alright, now that we have our lifters in the trays, what we gotta do now is just pop them in. Slide them in pretty carefully. Plug them in. And there you go. Pop the little bolt in. Now that we have one side done, now it's time to do the other side. And there's the last one going in. Again, find the holes, wiggle it in, push it in. That's it. Put the holes in, the bolt. And it's time to torque it down just in case. Alright, so now that we have all our trays in with the lifters, I'm gonna torque them down. I mean, it's not much, it's only 97 inch-pounds. It was basically hand tight. But just, we have the torque wrench, might as well use it. Hey guys, so it's currently the next day, they can tell, new shirt. Check it out. Anyway, so now that we have pretty much the threads are cleaned up already. I installed the dowel pins already on both sides, here and here. What I'm doing now is pretty much just going around and pretty much cleaning up the deck and the heads, because I'm pretty much ready to drop in the gaskets and the heads. Alright, now that our deck is cleaned, it's time to lay down these MLS head gaskets from FoPro. Can't really go wrong with them. They say front. You know, it's not much different one side from the other. As long as, you know, it goes to the front side on the front side, there's no going wrong with these. Just slip them in like that. Side here. And that's next up is the heads. And it goes in. Locating dowel pins. Alright. Check the unit. Alright. Finally, we have a first head in. It's time to torque these babies down. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, now that our first head is in, it's time to drop in the head bolts. Now, although it's very controversial, I'm using the original head bolts. I've heard a lot of bad things about that, a lot of good things about that, and since this is a budget build, and you know we don't really have a budget for new bolts or studs, you know, so we decided to go ahead and use the old ones. So if it blows, you might know why. Alright guys, so now that we have all of our bolts hand tight and for the head, first step, although they do have their sequence, which I will be explaining in a minute. So first step is to torque down the big bolts in sequence for 22 pounds. Second step, in sequence again, you have to do the torque angle to 90 degrees on all of them, all the big ones. And for the third and final step, for all the big bolts except for number 9, which is this one, number 10, you have to add another 90 degree angle. And for number 9 and number 10, instead of doing the 90 degree, it goes an additional 50 degree. So, with that being said, this is the sequence. Go from here. So this would be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. That's for the big bolts. To continue with the little bolts, which they do get torqued down, but after we're done with the big bolts, this would be number 11, number 12, number 13, number 14, and lastly number 15. So right now I'm gonna completely ignore these small bolts in front over here, the intake side, and focus on these big bolts right now. So right now let's go ahead and torque them down and get them properly angled. So now that we have our heads on and torqued down to spec with the torque angles and everything, now next step is to put the push rods in. Pretty simple. You just get your push rod, clean it up a little bit, dunk it in some oil, just lower tip, drop it in, push it down so it makes contact so it can sit into the lifter. There you go. We're doing that process. So you guys can see I have all of them in order, which I took them out on. So we'll just put them, drop them back in the same way they came back out.
Last push rod going in. So in order to put it in the push rods, we had to take out the rocker arm assembly for both heads. As you can see right here, all the rail comes out. We didn't have to take one by one out, so we took out all of it. So push rods are done. On to the next step.
Alright guys, so what I'm doing now is installing the rocker arms pretty much one by one. There's a process to this. Let me go ahead and torque this one down real quick. Alright guys, I'm gonna try to explain the process here. And according to the book, to get started, this is the intake side, this is exhaust. The exhaust is always on the right side for each cylinder, which is this, and this. So you're gonna have to push them down and have a helper, if you can, for yourself. You got to turn the pulley clockwise. So while turning the pulley, clockwise and holding these two down, you'll feel the push rods going up and down. What you're looking for is, as soon as it's gonna go up and down, and as soon as you feel the exhaust one just barely trying to move up, that's when you know this should be properly positioned so you can install the rock arm here. Once you install it, make sure to lube the tip, pretty much every contact point you can, like the back of this for the push rod, the back of this for the valve, and pretty much everything. Make sure you lube it up and you torque it down to 22 foot-pounds each one. Alright, so that's for the intake side. For the exhaust side, you keep turning the pulley here clockwise, and again, obviously it's going to go up and down, but this time you're looking at the intake valve. Since this one's already going to be installed, when you're turning the pulley, the rock arm, for example, for this one, now that it's installed, I'll show you just for example. When you're turning the pulley, the push rod is going to push up, which means this side is going to push down, meaning since the valve is here, the valve is opening. So let the valve open, then when it starts raising, and when it finishes raising, it means that the valve is now closed, which signifies that the exhaust side, is in position for you to install. Again, lube these points here, lube the rocker arm, you bolt it on, torque it down to 22 foot-pounds, and that's pretty much, it goes the same process for every cylinder. It's pretty tedious, especially since this is the first time I'm doing it, but once you have it down, it's pretty much, you can do these with your eyes closed. And for lubrication, I actually bought this valve train assembly spray. Just wanted to try it out. I see that right here that you could use engine oil, but I guess this is a lot more, special, pretty much assembly spray. Can't go wrong with this apparently. Alright guys, so we're finally done torquing down and installing all the rocker arm assemblies. So with that, we're basically done with what the engine is. There's obviously the top things, accessories, but that'll be installed once I actually have it inside the car here. So now the question is, I pretty much am ready to install the valve covers, but I'm contemplating on if I should paint the valve covers, if I should paint the engine block also. make sure to drop a comment down below, to see if you guys have any suggestions on colors. I really don't know what color I'm gonna go with, to be honest, or if I just leave it like that and just as long as it runs, whatever. So I'm definitely contemplating on that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have some time left before I actually have to blend everything up for sure, but I'm definitely gonna have to think that over. Alright guys, so if you are enjoying the content so far, make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe, so you can get the notifications when we upload new videos. And with that being said, see you guys next time.